out here struggling to get this in my car. Men are walking back and forth. No one is trying to help me.
But why should they? And why would they even want to? After all, women have been telling men over and over again to leave them alone. Women are independent. They don't need men. And now some are complaining when men are actually listening to them.
They don't make real men anymore. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not all men, because there are good men out there.
That's a very good point. There are good men out there.
As a woman, like, you don't see men holding doors anymore. They don't help anymore. They rush and sit down on trains and buses before women and pregnant women and elderly are sitting down. It's just a hot mess out here. But
this really shouldn't come as a surprise. After all, isn't this what some women wanted? What modern feminism was pushing for? For women to be treated as equals to men, right? No special treatment needed. Don't need to hold open a door. Why help out? Women can do everything themselves just as good as men can. But now it seems some are complaining that they got exactly what they asked for.
Happened over the last couple of generations, but men don't help women. They don't offer to hold doors and things of that nature. And part of that obviously is because radical feminists, have said, if you hold the door for me, you're implying that I'm weak. So it's not like it's just the fault of men.
Do you ever fear about like looking like a Karen, or do you think you ever overreact?
I literally wear a shirt that says Proud Karen to the airport.
Really?
I sell them.
Oh, so you go in there ready to battle.
I let people know, like, like it's not.
And think about when you go to a bar, who's supposed to buy women drinks? Men are. Do you see that as often as like years and years ago? All costs.
I get all that, man. I have to protect
Even
her,
when
blah,
girls
blah,
are
blah.
fighting with each other, like, it is so ugly. It is the ugliest thing that there is men around and they're not doing anything.
But why do you think men don't do that anymore? Because they used to do that before. But why do you think they don't do that anymore? They stopped doing that.
Why do you think you're a man? You tell me.
First of all, good question. The reason I think, men, we don't do it anymore because you guys don't respect us anymore.
Okay.
Second, you guys don't need us anymore. I don't need a man. I'm a strong woman, independent. You're the independent, you're strong. What do you need me for? What do you complain to me not protecting when you already have everything that you want? I'm a bub. What do you need me for?
Men are finally tired of helping women. Right now, they are definitely rethinking the whole damsel in distress scenario. So, is this a full-blown revolt against holding doors and carrying groceries? Or is there something more complex at play? Before you jump into any conclusions, let's get into the why behind this trend. Are men tired of outdated gender roles? Have women's changing expectations shifted the equation? The question is, why should they care? For the longest time, women have been preaching independence and self-sufficiency for years. They've been telling men to back off and leave them alone. And now, some women have the audacity to complain when men don't listen to them anymore. Let's take a step back and think about it. Are men really to blame here? Sure, there are good men out there who still hold doors open and offer their seats to women, pregnant ladies, and the elderly. But they're becoming increasingly rare. Why? Well, part of the reason lies in the rhetoric of radical feminists who claim that chivalrous acts like holding doors open imply that women are weak. So, it's no wonder that men are hesitant to offer help these days. Think about it. When was the last time you saw a man buying drinks for women at a bar like they used to do years ago? It's a rare sight today. Even the flowers men used to get for women has become a rare sight. And don't even get me started on how men react when they see women fighting amongst themselves. But can you blame them? Why risk getting involved when you might be labeled as a sexist or accused of mansplaining? So, why the sudden change in men's behavior? Why have they stopped offering help and showing acts of chivalry? The answer lies in the very movement that claimed to empower women, modern feminism. It pushed for women to be treated as equals to men, and rightly so. But in the process, it also discarded the age-old customs of chivalry and gentlemanly behavior. Modern women have been shouting from the rooftops about wanting the same opportunities and treatment as men. They want to be seen as equals. And hey, that's fair, right? But here's the thing they seem to forget. Being a man comes with its own set of challenges. It's not all rainbows and sunshine. But here's the thing. Now that women are being treated as equals, Some of them are complaining that they miss the special treatment they used to receive. They wanted to be seen as independent and capable, and now that they are, they're realizing that it comes with its own set of challenges. It's like they wanted their cake and to eat it too. Women only saw the perks of being a man and started demanding the same treatment. But now that they've got it, they're starting to realize it's not all it's cracked up to be. Being treated like a man means being ignored, feeling alone, and having to fend for yourself. And guess what? Now they want things to go back to the way they were. But sorry, ladies, it doesn't work like that. You can't just flip a switch and undo everything. Now, women are constantly facing the consequences of their actions, and honestly, it's not pretty. False accusations are flying left and right, and men's lives are being destroyed in the blink of an eye. The cancel culture effect is real, and it's terrifying. One wrong move, one false accusation, and your whole world comes crashing down. It's like living in a nightmare. So, where does that leave us? Are men just supposed to stand by and watch as women struggle with their newfound independence? Should they ignore their natural instincts to protect and assist those in need? It's a tricky situation, to say the least. But one thing's for sure. Blaming men for not helping when they've been told not to is just plain unfair. There's this perception that men don't feel needed anymore. Imagine a scenario where a guy tries to lend a helping hand to a female colleague at work, thinking he's being a good team player. But what happens? She flips out, claiming he's insinuating she's weak by offering assistance. Next thing you know, he's out of a job because she went and complained to their female boss. And this isn't just a one-off story. It's happening more and more, with men getting the boot for simply trying to do the right thing. Now, why is this happening? Well, some women have been shouting from the rooftops about how independent and strong they are. And you know what? That's great. But here's the thing. When men hear this over and over again, they start to think, well, if you don't need me, why should I bother? It's like trying to hold open a door for someone who insists on slamming it shut in your face. And let's not forget about the power of social media. Nowadays, if a guy so much as offers to carry a woman's groceries, he's at risk of being labeled a creep and getting blasted online for all the world to see. It's like walking on eggshells, never knowing when a simple act of kindness will come back to bite you.
Okay. This is from the New York Times. This is from about a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
As a woman was raped, train riders failed to intervene, police say. And this was just the first story I was able to pull up. About 5 years ago now, I think it was 5 years ago, I did a video on my main channel, Men Are Refusing to Help Women and Children. It got millions of views, and it was just like this 15-minute thing of me talking about it. There were a handful of stories. One, a woman was on a train, and some guy started getting in her face, schmoozing on her, and being really aggressive, and no man would intervene. And then she was really angry, and she was like, why wouldn't any man stand up for me? Well, there's a lot of reasons why they won't do it. Another story I read years ago, this may be like 10 years ago now at this point, a guy was in a store, and there was a journalist who was in a store, saw a child crying with no parent, seemingly lost. Yeah. And she said, I saw a man walk towards this kid, looking at the kid, concerned, then stopped, looked around, turned around, and walked away. They ran up to the child, like this person, and got a security guard to help the person. And then the reporter said, she then ran to the man and asked him why he turned around and didn't help the kid. And the man said, because I would be accused of having kidnapped that kid and I don't want to be involved. That is a crazy prospect, that we have this story from Philadelphia where a woman was being raped on the train in front of people. And what did they do? Most of them just said, leave me alone. Some of them started filming. No one did anything.
It struck a chord with millions of viewers, sparking a conversation that needed to be had. It's baffling, isn't it? How can people just stand by and watch without doing anything? You see, it's not just about being scared for your own safety. It's about the repercussions that follow. False accusations spread like wildfire, tarnishing reputations and lives in their wake. Imagine being labeled a sex offender, branded for life, all because you tried to do the right thing. It's a terrifying prospect, one that's driving people to turn a blind eye to those in need. But we fail to remember it's not just about men shying away from stepping in. It's about the fear that comes with it. Take this story from a decade ago, where a man spotted a lost child in a store. He wanted to help, but the fear of being accused of something sinister stopped him dead in his tracks. Can you blame him? Today, a simple act of kindness can quickly turn into a nightmare if misconstrued. So, what's the solution? How do we break free from this cycle of indifference? It starts with awareness, with shining a light on these uncomfortable truths. We need to have open and honest conversations about the fear and stigma that prevent people from stepping up. And we need to hold ourselves accountable, to do better, to be better. Because here's the thing. When we turn a blind eye to injustice, we become complicit in it. We become part of the problem instead of the solution. So let's make a pact, right here, right now, to stand up for what's right, even when it's hard. Let's be the change we wish to see in the world, one act of kindness at a time. On a harsh reality check, there are women out there who openly express disdain for men, making it clear they don't value men's help. It's like a slap in the face, isn't it? You offer a helping hand, and suddenly, you're labeled as a creep or worse. It's no wonder men are starting to think twice before lending assistance. And it's not just about false accusations. It goes deeper than that. Imagine putting your life on the line to save someone, only to be met with ingratitude. Take the story of the guy who braved a burning building to rescue his girlfriend. He risked everything, endured severe injuries, and what did he get in return? She dumped him while he was still recovering in the hospital. So, it's no surprise that men are starting to draw the line. They've had enough of being taken for granted. Women act all confused when men refuse to play the hero. They call the men weak and irresponsible, as if men owe them something. But here's the thing. This isn't the past, and men are not the knights in shining armor of old. Men deserve respect too. Back in the day, women knew how to appreciate a good man. They understood the value of chivalry and didn't take it for granted. But today, it's a different story. Modern women expect the world without giving anything in return. They want all the perks of chivalry without actually respecting the men who offer it. So, to all the men out there, don't let yourself be taken advantage of. Stand tall, set boundaries, and demand the respect you deserve. And to the women who appreciate us for who we are, thank you. You're the real MVPs, and we're grateful to have you in our lives. It's okay to put yourself first. You're not obligated to be anyone's hero. Sure, you're a natural protector, but that doesn't mean you have to sacrifice yourself for someone else's sake. Your life, your reputation, your family, they're all worth more than trying to save some damsel in distress. Always, take a step back, assess the situation, and prioritize your own well-being. Because at the end of the day, you're the one who has to live with the consequences of your actions. And trust me, you're worth more than being a pawn in someone else's game. Alright guys, we've come to the end of this video, and if you enjoyed it, do well to click on the like and subscribe buttons. Don't forget to check other videos on our playlist. We've got some amazing contents for you. See you in our next video.